I want to leave you with a few scriptures. Now, I try my best to not fall into sermonizing as I do this, and I hate myself when I'm being a topical preacher, but right now I'm going to do that for the next 4 or 5 minutes. First point that I want to make is that we're not the first to feel alone in a crowd. This has happened before. Paul writes to Timothy, "At my first defense, no one came to stand by me, but all deserted me. But the Lord stood by me and strengthened me, so that through me the message might be fully proclaimed and all the Gentiles might hear." So Paul was alone. We're not the only ones to be abandoned or isolated. And it'll almost sound like a cliche when I say it because it's so true. And we hear it and we've said it over and over again. You're not alone. The Lord is there with you. The Lord will stand with you. That part we get. The part I want to reinforce is that Paul stood alone in his first trial, and that sometimes you and I are standing alone, and we're not the first to feel that way. And just knowing that can get us through the rough patch. Here, the psalmist writes, and he's going through a hard time, "Turn to me," he prays, "turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted." So somebody 1000 BC went through the same kind of stuff that you're going through. And it was somebody, obviously, who was in some kind of a leadership position because it made it into the Bible. And so, again, we're not alone in this whole deal. The scripture gives us a little bit of a promise and then a warning. It says, "God settles the solitary in a home. He leads out the prisoners to prosperity." Now, you may be feeling very solitary. You may be a prisoner of vocational ministry, and that can be a prison. But then it goes, so it's a promise that God's going to take care of you. Good things are going to come your way. But then there's a little bit of a warning, and we need to really remember this when we're feeling isolated, we're feeling hurt, we're feeling that God has let us down. Basically, it says, "The rebellious dwell in a parched land." I don't know about you. I do not want to dwell in a parched land.